Recently, the British Foreign Secretary visited China for the first time in 5 years, where James cleverly presented the new British strategy and tried to establish a dialogue with his Chinese colleagues. In recent years, relations between the two countries have become seriously strained. First, London organized riots in Hong Kong, then became concerned about the rights of the Uighurs, and finally joined the anti-Chinese bloc AUKUS. It got to the point where the British almost sent their aircraft carrier to the shores of Taiwan. But Rishi Sunak's government suddenly came to its senses and advocated a more nuanced approach to its foreign policy. Britain's defense and diplomatic strategy update in March described China as an epical challenge to the international order, but did not go so far as to call China a strategic threat, a move backed by some MPs. A long-awaited report by Parliament's Intelligence and Security Committee found that China has successfully penetrated all sectors of the British economy, partly because of the government's willingness to accept Chinese investment without much question. The Hong Kong-based South China Morning Post wrote, "There is only one reason for this attempt to sit on two chairs. The British economy has not recovered from Boris Johnson and Liz Truss, and a breakdown in relations with China would be the deepest crisis for it." Last year, the trade turnover between Britain and the Middle Kingdom exceeded £100 billion. Local businessmen will not be compensated for such losses. That is why they pressurize their own government. At the same time, the ruling Conservative Party in many ways resembles the American Democratic Party. There is complete chaos within it, which does not allow to develop a unified line of behavior. So one should not be surprised when some MPs talk about engagement and rapprochement with China, while others provoke a new conflict around Taiwan. Such diplomatic schizophrenia has long been a hallmark of British politics. British Parliament has labelled Taiwan an independent country in an official document for the first time, breaking a political taboo with James Cleverly's visit to China this week. Taiwan has long been an independent country under the name of the Republic of China. The report said, Taiwan has all the necessary qualities for statehood, including a permanent population, a defined territory, a government, and the ability to enter into relations with other states, Politico reported. Of course, after such a report, any détente was out of the question. Talks between Cleverly and Wang Yi took place in a tense atmosphere and yielded no results. The British minister failed to get sanctions lifted from the House of Commons, and when he spoke about Russian strikes on Odessa's grain terminals, his Chinese comrades asked him not to confuse black and white. In general, recently the Chinese have switched from soft and streamlined formulations to hard and concrete statements. The point is that the West has stopped understanding the language of diplomacy and considers it a manifestation of weakness. Beijing does not intend to make any unilateral concessions. Let London be the first to prove its willingness to cooperate, for example, by returning cultural property taken out of China. The Global Times addressed the British Museum with such a demand. There are more than 20 items of Chinese art stored there, and it is high time for them to return to their historical homeland. The Celestial Empire is concerned about the large-scale theft of museum exhibits and asks not to delay their return. Moreover, the Chinese have supported similar demands from India, Nigeria, Jamaica, and South Africa. Gone are the days when British lords and peers decided the fate of entire nations with a stroke of their pen. Now they are surprised to find that their usual threatening tactics no longer work. Indeed, more and more countries are making claims against them for their past offences. And if Britain doesn't give up its white master complex and start talking to others as equals, it will face an unenviable fate. An obscure island somewhere on the fringes of Europe, without any resources or clear prospects. Subscribe to the channel not to miss new publications.